Let's just run down a little bit of history, okay? Because the Scott Ritters, the Redacted channel, the Candace Owens, all the Jew haters out there, well, they have their own little spin on everything. And, you know, how Trump is being played and Iran really wants peace, please, okay? So let's just get to the heart of it because it's really simple and they complicate it all to spin their hateful, you know, because they just have hateful, they just hate the Jews. So they bring it like Scott Ritter redacted or acting like Israel is doing this and how dare they do that. No, Iran has always been a terrorist organization. Understand one thing. Iran funds every terrorist organization throughout the Middle East. Everyone from Hezbollah to Hamas to the PLO to the Houthis to ICE, all of them, all of them. It comes from them. And when everybody wants to carry on about the Palestinians, let me just remind you about the horrible Munich attack that took place, okay? I mean, had I been Israel, I never would have spoken to Germany again personally. I mean, this was in the 70s at the Olympics. All of 11 of their players were slaughtered. And who was it? It was the Palestine Liberation Organization, all funded. Back then, Egypt was very much involved because Yasser Arafat, this fool, was not a Palestinian-born person. He was from Egypt. See, there was a time way back then that more of the Middle East countries like Egypt, Jordan, and many of them were very involved with wanting to annihilate the Jews. But over time, they've just are like, forget it. Okay? But he wasn't even Palestinian born. But he came up as the leader, and Iran was more than happy to help bolster him in every way. Yasser Arafat had several meetings, many meetings, with the Ayatollahs of Iran. Because all of the Middle East, all of those terrorist organizations are funded by Iran. So when these useless idiots, when these, I would just say they're Jew haters, Scott Ritter's redacted. I'm just not one to beat around the bush and sit here and try to say, oh, well, they're just misguided. No, they're deliberately trying to lead people astray to hate Israel. That's what they're trying to do. They're absolutely trying to do that. No doubt about it. No absolute doubt about it. They're just that wicked inside. They're that good at turning things and twisting it and acting like that Iran wants peace. Are you kidding me? Iran has never been about, Iran wouldn't know peace. I mean, the people, separate the people. The people want to be liberated, which is why I just saw a video where Netanyahu is actually reaching out to the Iranian people saying our beef isn't with you, which it isn't. These are targeted attacks. This isn't just blowing them all up. But there's many of them that have said throughout the years, like they wish they would be, somebody would come and take their regime out. Unlike Iraq. Iraq was being controlled by Iran too. But Iraq's people were very much, they weren't as modernized as the Iranian people, you know. Anyway, so just so people understand, okay? So this fool Yasser Arafat, because see, Palestine didn't have any leaders until between 1930 and 1948. Like when the British mandate came in. And then Israel became Israel there, right around that time, I forget, but not too long after. Then all of a sudden, all you've heard, especially the young people of today, here is that, oh, that Palestinians always been a state. No, it hasn't. It hasn't even had leaders. It didn't start having leaders until between 1937 and 1948, okay? And did they come out of Palestine? No, they've been using Palestine always, just like Hamas is currently using it. And then what does the media do? What do the reprobate minds do, like Candace Owens, Scott Ritter, Redacted? There's a ton of them. They twist things. They twist everything, okay? So, and Munich is where it was the Olympics in Munich, Germany. All of 11 of the hostages were murdered because of the Palestine Liberation Organization. So the next time they tell you that there's some genocide going on in Palestine. Realize, no, the people that commit genocide are the people that those people support. See, the propaganda goes too far on the Palestine side. Am I saying innocent people don't get hurt? They do, because of Hamas. Hamas hides in hospitals. Hamas uses the Palestine people as human shields, and Israel's known this, which is why they're careful. But with useful idiots and reprobate minds like Candace Owens, Scott Ritter, all the rest that do this, okay? They just serve terrorist organizations. It's not hard to find out about Iran's history. Black September was the group that was this, or they were called Black September, was the group responsible for massacring all of the Olympic members that were from Israel, 1972. And it was funded and supported by Fatah, which was a major faction of the Palestine Liberation Organization. Okay? The group also received financial assistance, training, and safe haven from sympathetic Middle Eastern states, especially Libya, Syria. Fatah supplied arms and training, while Fatah itself received support from the Soviet Union, Eastern Europe, China, and Algeria. Okay? Now put that all together. And this is why I've been saying I don't know why Israel was even having any relationship with Germany at all. Nothing against the German people. I'm just saying after the Holocaust, I'd kind of be like, yeah, maybe we just, maybe we should just stay our separate ways. But instead, Germany seemed to be going in there. We're going to help you. We're going to make up for it. Yeah, I would have been like, no, especially after this then in 72. Would have been like, yeah, you couldn't even keep any of the players safe. Just go watch the movie on that whole mess, okay? And Israel, that's when you'll see how Mossad works. Because it was the Mossad that went after every one of those assholes. Because they slaughtered them for no reason. They were just there to compete. So that's why I have no patience for the bullshit from the Scott Ritters, the Redacted channel. Okay, because I looked into this long ago, long before Trump. It was after 9/11 I started, you start going down one rabbit hole because you start learning, all because I wanted to understand the people that, hijacked the plane, all that with 9/11. And you can't help but you're going into the Middle East area with all of it. Yasser Arafat, okay, he was one that would, just like Iran, would act like he's coming to the peace table, wants to make peace, and then he'd turn around and he did live in Palestine, but he wasn't born there. He was just placed there. But everything is really funded by Iran. All of it is. Iran is widely recognized as the foremost state sponsor of terrorism in the Middle East. Yeah, it always has been. Providing financial, military logistics support to groups such as Hezbollah in Lebanon, who I mentioned, Islamic Jihad in Gaza, the Houthis in Yemen, and various militias in Iraq and Syria. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and its elite Quds Force are central to this support, supplying arms, training, and funding. For example, Iran has funneled hundreds of millions of dollars annually to Hezbollah and Hamas, enabling rocket attacks and other operations against Israel. So any of these losers like Candace Owens, Scott Ritter, all of them that are trying to act like, no, Israel is the problem here. No, it's not. If they want to ignore all of the history, okay, then they are just people with no heart. Again, in 72, Israel wanted to play in the Olympics, but after the Holocaust, it was very like, should we really get involved? And then they do, because people assured their safety. Germany did. And then all of their players came home in body bags, which is why Golda Meir, who was the female leader of Israel, went after. She had Mossad go after and kill every single one of the mother effers that was involved. So stop listening to the people that have a reprobate mind. They follow Satan. It's as simple as that.